my city, as well as a sort of joined city, were thinking about passing an ordinance to increase the age to purchase tobacco from 18 to 21, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but I'll get into that later. And it was as far as I know, it would have been a gross misdemeanor for possession for people 20 and under, 20 and younger, which is worse than marijuana, but that's beside the point. In my opinion, this is an example of at least municipal level government overreach, because in the eyes of the federal government, when you turn 18, you are an adult, so you can make your own decisions based on health and things like that. Now, I went to the meeting with one of my coworkers. I work in an electronic cigarette retail store, and it is exclusively electronic cigarettes. We work to help people quit smoking by the use of electronic cigarettes. So I'm quite biased in opposition to this ordinance. I was there at the meeting, and most arguments in favor of it were emotional. I have multiple family members that smoke, and they're dead now because of lung cancer and all that good stuff, which it's not good stuff. I shouldn't say that, but you know what I mean. And most arguments in favor, or sorry, not in favor, against it were statistical for the most part, including my own. I, made the case that I just made in the eyes of the federal government. When you turn 18, you can make your own decisions based on your health and things like that, because you're an adult. There was a relatively recent study by the Royal College of Physicians of London on April 28th, 2016, regarding vaping and electronic cigarettes. It was cited that they are an effective aid to quitting when used by previous smokers, which I am one. And the health hazards, which is usually what comes up, are unlikely to exceed 5% of the harm from traditional smoking. Raising the age from 18 to 21 doesn't really do anything. In the long run, it might, but I mean, short term, you're looking at possible increase of black market sales for tobacco. And, these people who will just go out of state or out of town, it would be a little easier out of town to buy these cigarettes for however much they would have been and sell them at a markup in town under the radar and make a profit, and then you have drug dealers, and that's never good. Another reason is because this is not simply just increasing the age is not the way you would go about doing this. In my opinion, this is an education issue, not an age issue. In education, being that you would need to educate them earlier, because most people start, and the whole argument was if you start smoking before the age of 18 or before the age of 21, you're far more likely to be a lifelong smoker, which I understand, I agree with. But at the same time, when you increase the age from 18 to 21, you also take away the options of cessation products like the ones that we offer, such as electronic cigarettes. And so that creates a problem, because for those who are already 18, between the ages of 18 to 20, and they are already addicted to cigarettes, and you take away that option for them to start possibly vaping and using electronic cigarettes to reduce the level of nicotine that they need and are getting, then they're kind of boned, because what are they going to do? They're going to turn to their friends who are out of town, and then you're pushing business out of the town. But getting back to the whole education thing, you need to start at a much younger age to let them know of the adverse effects of tobacco and smoking, and also let them know about the alternatives to smoking cigarettes, like electronic cigarettes, which is the most prevalent at the moment. Now, the neighboring city had a meeting exactly 1 week ago tonight, and I was at that meeting as well, and the ordinance there passed. And so I was expecting a lot of pressure from that city to, I was expecting that city to put a lot of pressure on my city to pass the ordinance as well. But surprisingly, quite honestly, I'm very shocked that it did not pass. The ordinance to the ordinance to increase the age from 18 to 21 did not pass. So like I said, I'm shocked, but I'm pleased with the outcome. And it's kind of interesting because when I was at the meeting last week, the mayor of that city claimed that it was not about the money, it was for the kids. And now they will, at least as far as I know, they will be rescinding their decision to pass the ordinance. So that's a bit hypocritical, because now you're just basically admitting that, yes, it was about the money, because we don't want to lose the customers that are just going to go to the other town and give them revenue instead of us. And at the meeting tonight, there were a lot of people who were wearing shirts that said something along the lines of "Be the generation to stop smoking" or whatever it was. I don't remember exactly. But there were far more people in favor of the ordinance than opposed. And my whole thinking is, if you want to be the generation that stops smoking, then educate. Don't just ban it. Like, if you just increase the age, then you're taking, like I said before, you're taking away the option that adults have to make their own decisions and to possibly switch from traditional cigarettes to electronic cigarettes, which are much better for you than traditional cigarettes, if you didn't already know that. So the ordinance did not pass, and so looking forward, nothing's really changed. There's been no change in the legislation from what it was before and what it is now. So moving forward, nothing's really changed, which I'm very pleased with, because it really, I'm not sure. And, it's all, at this point, it's all speculation. It's all speculation as to what could have happened. And so we don't know either way. If it would have passed, who's to say what would have happened? And a lot of the arguments were, if we can just save one kid from starting smoking because he knew someone who was 18 and he bought him a pack of cigarettes and then he died at 50 from lung cancer. Well, okay, fuck you.